Hi, I'm Dakota here at the patch office located in Spencer, West Virginia. Today we're going to be starting our own Asteroids game tutorial. Let's get started. First we're going to open up Scratch as usual. We're going to create a new one. We're going to have a blank canvas. I already have some things set up. I used a custom backdrop for this, but we're going to be making a majority of our own sprites. Well, all of them. So here when we want to create our own sprites, we're going to go down here to choose a sprite, but we're going to go up to the paint option. How I made my ship is when I used the line tool, just started making a triangle, kind of like so. Zoom in a bit. Use the paint bucket to fill in the color of the ship, doesn't matter what color. And then we're going to go to the black for our little eye in the middle, and to cut off where his eye and his body is. That's how I made my little spaceship. But we're also going to be needing a destroyed for when he gets touched by something later on. So you'd come down here and paint another one, make it look like he was destroyed. We're also going to need like a little missile projectile, little object. So the same thing applies. We paint it, use our lines, paint buckets, draw your little going flame ignition fuel thing. You're going to make your own little asteroid, have two costumes for it, one that where he's whole and where he gets blown up. Again with the paint. Down here we're going to need the paint again, but we're going to be using the text tool, and we're going to be saying game over. And lastly, your you win sign with the paint once more. Now let's go ahead and put him back together. Now to get started with the coding, we're going to need our 3 moving. Notice I said 3 instead of 4 because we're not going to be using the down arrow this time. We're going to be using left, right, and up arrows only. And these are going to have simple little codings like move forward 10, turn to the right, turn to the left. Those are all done. Next we're going to move on to our space one, our space key. We're going to have it have our little variable called direction, and this is going to set it not to 0, but we're going to go down here to the motion and have it point in direction. So whenever we are pointing, it's going to move our direction meter. Next, we're going to move on to our little looks. So we're going to go to green flag, set our size to 70%. So he doesn't take up a majority of the room. Or you can set it to whatever you want, but we're going to have him set at 0, 0. Have him start in the base middle of this. Obviously we're going to have him switch to his costume whole, to where he looks whole again. And he's going to set by pointing 90 degrees. That one's done. Now move on to our next green flag. We're going to have him have a score. So we're going to have our little score variable. You put them wherever you want. I put them in the top and bottom corners on the left side. I'm going to have it wait until. I'm going to go to our operators. We haven't used these in a while. I'm going to have it have a blank and have a number. I'm going to set it to 15. And we're going to go back down to variables and have score equal that. And we're going to have a broadcast win. So we're going to need a new message. You, if I can type, you win. So we're going to have a broadcast you win. We have one more to go over, but I'm going to save this one until we get the missile done. So showing my missile. This one's going to take a little bit to code, so let's go ahead and get rolling. we need our green flag to start. Obviously we want it to hide, we don't want it to show up at the beginning, and we want to have it set size to 50% because a missile's not really that big in like a video game and like this. Now the space key is going to have the majority of our coding to it. Now we're going to want it to go to the ship, have it start at the ship whenever the space key is pressed. That way he's like on top of us. Then we're going to have it play a sound. So we need to go to sounds. I need to upload my file of this. Doing a little bit of editing here. That way it doesn't have too much of a drop off at the end of it. I would play the sound until it's done. It's going to point in direction of direction. So we're going to need our little direction here. So after that, we're going to need our set direction to direction, or rather point in direction. I'm going to need to go back down to variables and do this. Then we're going to have it show up. And then we're going to need a repeat block for however many. I'm going to put 50. If it touches an asteroid or an edge, so we're going to need edge and asteroid. So if block, our or operator, so if it's touching the asteroid or the edge, we want it to hide. So go back up to looks, have hide, and move 10 steps. So after that, our missile is done, so we're going to go back over to ship, work on him a little bit more, go over to control, have our forever block, have an if, and if it's touching the asteroid, switch costumes to its broken stage, so destroyed. Let's go ahead and switch that back. Then we'll have it play a sound, an explosion sound. And then it's going to broadcast our next one, game over. Now our ship is all done. We're going to move on to our asteroid. We're going to need our green flag to start. We're going to need a forever block. Going to need an if touching. So if touching the missile, and if then switch costumes to it's blown up. So let's go ahead and show him up. But we're going to have him set to this one for now. We're going to change the score by 1. Change score by 1. That will give us a point. Wait 0.1 seconds. And hide. So that's our primary for this. Now we're going to need another green flag. We're going to need another forever block. We're going to have it forever turn 15 degrees. So I'm going to have it turn to the left 15 every time. And having it wait 0.1 seconds. our next green flag and another forever block. Going to have it switch back to its normal, so this will be his when at the beginning, have him show up. Or have him go to a certain coordinate, so if we want him to stay down here at the beginning, going to need our go to. And then we're going to have him glide up here at negative 187 for X and 125 for Y. And then we'll have him hide. And then he will constantly repeat this one. Moving on to our next one. This is going to be our little music intro block, so we're going to have our forever. So this one's just going to be really short. We're going to have to upload our sound file for this. Get rid of this. Play this until it's done. And that is all of our asteroid. Moving on to our game over sprite. I have our green flag. Have it hide. And it's going to set our score to 0. Then he's going to, when he receives game over, he's going to show up. Stop all sounds. And then stop everything. Stop all scripts. Then we're going to need another green flag. If you wanted to put it on here, you'd put your music one. I put it on our asteroid. And then moving on to our final sprite, we're going to look at our you win sprite. I'm going to have him hide. So when he receives you win, he's going to show up, stop all sounds as well, and then stop everything, just like game over. And then when the green flag is clicked, we want him to hide at the beginning. As you can see, our asteroid is going, and our music is playing. Have him glide for 7 seconds, have him slow down a little bit. As you can see, our score has gone up in our direction every time we shoot our missile, and when we got hit, everything went smoothly. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I can't wait to hear what you guys make.